shit myself. Make me timid and I don't need nobody else, yeah. Get out of my face, Chad. I don't like to collab. I need to load out, yeah. Get out of my face, Chad. I need to load out, yeah, yeah. I make a tidbit and I don't need nobody else. I make a tidbit and I don't need nobody's help. I don't need your fancy studio. I'll do this shit myself. Make a tidbit and I don't need nobody else. Yeah. Get out of my face, Chad. I don't like to collab. I need to load up, yeah. Get out of my face, Chad. I need to load up, yeah. So keep your number. No, I don't want your call. I write the shit I wanna type shit. I'm working really hard. So keep your number. No, I don't want your call. I got to dip, don't start your own shit. I'm working really hard. I'm working really hard. I'm working really hard.
Hey, Brian, where's the clip? I didn't see it. Brian, hello. Shadow producer.
There we go.
That's beautiful.
Where's the video?
So let's be real, all the way real now. Jimmy Buckets is a great number 2. He ain't taking no team. He ain't KD. He's not Braun. He's not James Harden. He's not a number 1. So stop playing, Skip Bayless. I know you like his toughness, and I love it too. But he ain't them.
Nice.
Hey, thank y'all for coming to watch that. I just had to pull some tags, some receipts, just so y'all can see it. I'm Tiffany. Behind the scenes back there somewhere is Brian. Brian, say hi to the people.
Hi everybody, and sorry about that. Not G, and I own it. My bad.
And with me tonight, I got my girl at Great Gray Matter, Shy as I like to call her. Say what's up to the
Tiff?
people.
What's up, Franky, Brian? Hey, people. What's
Hey,
up?
and I got my guy Franky G. Franky, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people? What's up, Shaw City? What's up, Tiff? What's up, Brian?
All right.
Long debut.
Yes. So we're
Let's
gonna go ahead
go.
and slide right on into this. As y'all saw that clip, I had to just pull a little receipt real quick because somebody said my guy Jimmy ain't even James Harden. So we
Thank God.
so we exactly. So we're gonna jump this off
Praise.
and we're gonna spread some love and some rose petals for our guy Jimmy. So let's dig into Jimmy's play so far during this playoffs, and let's just go ahead and give my man a virtual hug.
Kiss, a little kiss on the cheek.
On the cheek.
Exactly. Let's talk about I mean, he's doing it everywhere. Both ends of the court, offense, defense. Listen, he's locking folks up. He's playing great defense. He's leading the team. What are you guys seeing from him this postseason as opposed to last postseason?
Go ahead, Franky.
Because we can compare and contrast if you need to.
Ain't nothing to compare.
There's no comparison. He's got legs. First of all, he's got legs. He's got a little juice in his step in the playoffs. You were able to conserve him. Tiff, you love to call him Superman Jimmy all regular season. Last year, they needed a lot of Superman Jimmy last year.
Right,
This year, Kyle Bam, Tyler, and all the role players were able to step up, give Jimmy his proper rest, let him come to the playoffs healthy. And although he didn't always show it in consistency during the regular season, he has done it in the postseason. Everything you've needed of him, playmaker, scorer, rebounder, on-ball defender, off-ball defender, he's provided it. The only thing, and this is, on the team, because the team hasn't come up in really any clutch situations besides the one game without that Kyle got hurt. But when that time comes, we'll see if Jimmy can lift them into the promised land right there. But everything Jimmy's done this postseason, I've loved it. You can't complain about it at all.
Yeah, he's like you said, he's been huge on both ends. I guess they've kind of needed it at some point because the offense hasn't looked until last night, right? The offense hadn't looked, as juice and as lively and as free flowing kind of as it had been. And so there were times, during the regular season where, Jimmy gets going, but everything else feels kind of stagnant. Like we're not moving, we're not doing things off the ball, we're not, giving defenses something else to be concerned about. And
Right.
for a little bit, that was necessary. And he's taking it on the chin. He's doing it efficiently. This man has beautiful body control. I love watching him finish through contact, watching him pivot out of traffic, find open guys. He's been smart. He's been dominant without it feeling like he's been selfish or like the center of it all. Like we know that he has been the center, but it hasn't felt like that in a way that feels like it's been to the detriment to the rest of the team. He's been fantastic, man. Honestly, there's nothing else that you could ask for him or ask of him right now. We're gonna ask him to continue to do it, to kind of keep it up. If he has a little bit of a drop off, I guess that's to be understood and maybe a little bit expected, but I don't know that I see it. He's getting to his spots. He's elevating. He's shooting the way that he was shooting early on in the season when he was just hitting jump shots. And that you really can't say enough about him. He doesn't do it the way some of these other guys do it. He's not shifty and snatching ankles. He don't live above the rim, and he's not going to kill you from downtown. But everything else, he gives you a steady diet of so much. And so, shout out to him.
And one of the things, towards the end of the season, we talked about where he did get back into that mold where at least we kind of felt like he was holding the ball too long. And was I won't say he was rushing, but it seemed like he wasn't
Pressing.
sure. Yes, he was pressing. What have you seen as far as because he's definitely cleaned that up. The ball is popping, the ball is moving, and he's scoring at a high rate, but he's not monopolizing the ball.
Yep.
So
100%.
what are you guys seeing with that?
He's I think he's acknowledged that they weren't. A lot of was made of that big spat he had with Spoelstra, and what has come out since then was just about arguing about the style of play and such. And since that, they've been playing so well, largely because they've made all these little minor tweaks and adjustments. Jimmy's just followed suit. He's ever since it wasn't just the playoffs, the last regular season stretch. Once Max came into the starting lineup and they started changing things, he's been recharged. He's had lineups that suit his skills better. He's been the 4 on offense and had more space to operate. And little things, G's talked a lot about the empty corner sets that they run with Bam, and that's kind of helped juice that up again like it was the first season. Teams had kind of figured out how to do that, how to help there. And then when Jimmy doesn't have it, he rescreens. He sets another screen, gives it up, lets the action start on the weak side, and he's become a spot up threat. There's no reason for Jimmy Butler not to be a good shooter. As Siobhan has said countless times, he's too good. He's an 87% free throw shooter. This motherfucker should be a knockdown 3-point shooter. With that kind of touch and shooting ability, consistency. It's always just been how lackadaisical he's been about it. His feet have been inconsistent as hell. He's shooting off one leg, he's fading away, he's drifting to the side. Once he put that work in and just really committed himself, I had no doubt he could be a good shooter. But those little things, Siobhan mentioned a lot of things about his body control and stuff, and those are all things we knew he had. It was just about putting it all together, being consistent, and one of the things I've really wanted to see from him all season, like, guard the ball, man. Like, you are a fantastic off the ball defender. You are one of the best off ball defenders, but until you can guard the ball too, and show it against like high level competition and key opponents, like I know Jimmy used to be a great on ball defender, but he's kind of preserved it. Now he's doing it again, and he's fucking taking guys out. He took Maxey completely out of that game, and once Harden and Embiid were also taken out, they had no answer.
And that's what it is, though. Like, having preserved it, not that he's lost the ability to, but older. He got all them Tibbs miles on him.
Hella Tibbs miles.
Bunch of like multiple stops of Tibbs, right?
Yeah.
Multiple iterations of Tibbs miles.
He got remarried to a bad marriage,
Yes, karmic marriage. But yeah, like you said, some of the Spo towards the latter part of the season, I'm getting him out of the first quarter quicker, getting Tyler in quicker, so that he and Kyle stagger a bit, he and Bam stagger a bit, so that Jimmy's fresher to come back later. All of these things, all of these little adjustments, and like you said, just he himself not pressing. We all know Jimmy's like a bit of a hard ass, right? And a lot of people love it about him. There's some stubbornness there, but I really appreciate having, I appreciate that spat with Spo and UD and the way that he has comported himself afterward. And it's not that like I expected him to have that happen and come back and be even more of a butthole, but to take it and be about winning. Not that he's ever not been about winning, but he's just, like you said, putting it all together. And now it's money season, right? And so that on-ball responsibility when we need it, and like you said, he's a lockdown. He took Maxey out, and I just I'm happy that we're giving him his flowers, because I don't think it's been given to him enough. If it was anybody else doing what he's done,
he'd be the talk of the town.
Be a talk of the town. But you know how that goes. So shout out to him. We appreciate him. We love him. People that know like what they're looking at.
Right. If you know,
you know.
Exactly.
And Bond, I'm sorry, Tiff. But you mentioned the spat and the stubbornness. Like what I've always loved about Jimmy is that anytime he's angry or he gets into it with management, coaches, other teammates, it's always the right things. He is never arguing about shots. He is never arguing about role. He is arguing about, we're not doing enough to win. You guys don't appreciate how much I bring to the table that helps us win. All this stuff. And every stop along the way, he has been a better piece than was presently had or had before. Every time he leaves a place, they are worse off. Every time he gets there, they are doing better than they were before.
And every spot he goes to, like, you get a better version of him. Philly or Chicago, Jimmy was Chicago. Minnesota was Minnesota. Philly, he put them up. He carried a lot of that, and he's just continued to mature. And I think all of it's really, really evident.
Well, he's self-built.
Been self-built. And that's
so cool. This is a guy, he's built for evolution. Because in his mind, he's already had to change who he was how many times?
Exactly.
So
he was a JUCO player. He wasn't even the best player on his JUCO team, and this guy became was D1, got that scholarship, was a late first round pick. Like every stop,
like the last pick of the first round.
Yes, like every stop of the way, he has been down, like at a spot where he's not the favorite. He's not gonna. He went to JUCO. Like, how many NBA stars do you know went to JUCO? Like, no disrespect to JUCO, but like in the NBA, like
Max Strus,
Maximilian.
But yeah,
But yeah, like you said, he's just had to evolve so much.
yeah.
Yeah. But the funniest thing is that we're kind of roundabout edging into that defensive talk. So that's kind of where I want to go next. Um, it's very interesting because as far as great as Jimmy has been on offense, I think sneakily he's been better on defense. I just think that nobody, because we're so used to Jimmy in the passing lanes doing all these things, nobody's talking about it. Um, but the one thing that we have all been talking about together is what to do with Joel because he's a handful. He's
Mm-hmm.
a load.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we've done some really bad things. We've done some okay things.
Yeah.
And then in the last game, we did some really good things.
Yeah.
So I have some clips here. We're gonna run through them. We're gonna talk about what we see. You guys just kind of yell it out. This is us in Philly.
That's that switch.
Yep.
Jimmy gets caught top side.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And Joel was a better post player this game. Like I've said a couple
Yeah.
times, he should have had like 47 this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah. Well, and look at the placement because you're gonna have. I think that might be Court Moss coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And if they had even looked up, he was open.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
Yeah.
Doc, so like Doc adjusted this later, right? Instead of having Korkmaz, it's either Korkmaz or Danny Green come through.
Right.
They just kept that whole side
Mm-hmm.
Cleared out.
completely empty, and we were still
Yep.
fronting him, and there was no back line, and they were just getting well
Yeah.
placed lobbed
Yeah.
after well
Well,
placed lob.
and if you look at that, you got all the guards collapsing on him.
Mm-hmm.
You're not. That's
Yeah.
not that he doesn't see you.
Yep.
Like he's too
Yeah.
big. That doesn't make a difference to him.
He
If
should
he's
stop.
aggressive, it doesn't make a difference to him.
Yeah.
He's so
Yeah.
damn big. He's easily the biggest guy in the court too. He should be sealing. They're gonna counter this. Try to have him seal there, reverse the ball, and he should hold that seal. That
All,
ball needs to get there
exactly.
quicker than that.
All
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
to do, Frankie, like hold that seal. Stop letting himself be pushed up and worked up higher to the top of the key. If he holds this right
Right
here,
Mm-hmm.
James should have made the pass, but you
Yeah.
got Korkmaz running, so you have Max and help. Yeah.
What the one thing about that is
Green.
James also isn't used to someone Bam's size
Yeah.
Yeah.
guarding him
Yeah.
and
Active
for
hands. Look at that.
uh-huh and
Yep.
forcing him
Pressure.
to pivot. Notice how he had to pivot back and
Mhm.
forth because he's not sure where to go with the ball either.
And James
Yeah.
isn't comfortable having to do all of that pivoting and in
Mm-hmm.
and out of traffic and trying to find, proper passing lanes.
Yeah. James
Exactly.
isn't used to having to give somebody else the ball on offense and let them go to work in the post like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's an adjustment, but James is too good of a passer to not be able to make this adjustment. Like I don't get why it's so hard. But also the offense isn't like this is too easy to defend.
Mhm.
Right.
This is too
There's
easy.
not a lot of movement except
Yep.
for whoever is that Danny. That might
I
be
think it's
Danny
Danny
I
Green.
think it's
Green.
green
Yeah.
because
Who
it's
came
early in the
right.
game.
So that's the movement that you really got on the
The
play was
only
the
one.
one cutter coming around and to the other baseline.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
it.
It just like obviously I think that's Max that comes in
Yeah.
and takes the charge.
Mhm.
Great job, but like they spent too much time working on that. They need to go into their second offense.
Mm.
That like they're forcing the ball to Joel. They need to do a better job getting the ball to him. They're too easy to defend. Miami was going to bust their ass and take this away. This
And
is
now,
too easy for them.
but see, for me personally, I consider this some of the okay. Like, I don't like, we talked about it a little bit on Hot that we kind of figured it out toward the end of this game. I'm like, yeah, but it takes a lot to kind of figure out.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, like you said, Frankie, they're not doing a lot here, but it
No.
does still take a
A lot of
pretty
effort.
concerted effort to
Right.
deal with that.
Right.
For
All
sure.
right. So we're gonna move on to the next clip that we have. All right. So this is us obviously back in Miami.
Mhm.
So let's see what we're gonna do. So we front. So okay. So we got somebody fronting,
But
which
it's
is
Bam now. It's not a
uh-huh,
guard. It's not a Jimmy.
uh-huh,
It ain't Gabe.
uh-huh.
Love him to
And
death.
now did you notice? So when he tried to post, Bam basically pushed him out all the way off that spot. Look at this.
Mm-hmm.
Look at this. Just
Mm-hmm.
and people don't realize it's just a little booty bump.
Yep. And then
And
Danny
it-
Green's so unintelligent that he cuts right where
Yep.
Joel is, and so Jimmy can dig on that because Danny Green is coming to that spot. Jimmy can
And
dig and
right
recover.
there. Right there. Look at
Yeah.
that.
yeah, instead of flashing to the under the basket to get a layup.
Or stay in the corner.
Right.
Yeah,
Because you shoot from the corner.
exactly. Like, but if you're gonna flash to the open spot right there, and go to the get a layup. Don't make it harder to force that pass.
Right.
And yeah, I get he's trying to clear out the weak side for that pass, but Jimmy's not gonna. He's not a threat
Right.
from the free throw line. Like
Right.
if Jimmy hits if Danny Green hits a free throw line jumper, like whatever, you take that.
Right.
And see,
Well, but even
go
the
ahead.
subtlety there as with the ball pressure.
Mhm.
Like just that little
Yes.
amount of pressure. I think it's Max that gets up on him. Watch this. Just this little here, this little bit, and
Yep.
now.
Enough.
Yeah.
Just enough to make you rotate the ball.
Hands were down at first, put them up, and like Danny or whoever it is should have probably made that pass the first time. And I
Right.
appreciated the adjustment. Like, all right, so Joel's gonna be the biggest person on the floor, period. Right. So,
Right.
but if we're going to front, if we're going to do this, why not try it with our bigger people, our
Mhm.
more physical people?
Right.
Love
Right.
Max, love Gabe, down. Like
They're
love
too
them to
small.
death. They're too small.
No, and
Yeah.
and I don't get why the adjustment here isn't for. Is that Tobias making the pass?
I think so.
can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So why isn't Tobias should be ripping, going baseline,
Baseline.
forcing
Yep.
the help, and then you can throw the
Right.
lob to Joel right there because he's got Bam on
Right.
his back.
But that's
Like-
the thing. He made himself guardable.
Yes,
Right there.
exactly.
Right there, because now he looks indecisive with the ball.
He put
So
the
once
ball over his head, and that was
once you bring
Yeah.
it up,
yeah.
you just made yourself guardable because the defense knows you have no idea what to do.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
the point of the triple threat, right, is I can dribble, pass, or shoot. The ball's above my head. Two of them threats are gone. I'm
Yep.
passing the ball.
Yep. That's it. Exactly.
You could tell this was a play where they're like, "Hey, run this," and Tobias like, "Okay, I'm gonna run what Coach said," instead of like, "All right, what Coach said isn't working. I got to make a play."
I'm
Right.
waiting
And-
for this to develop, whatever this
Yeah.
is.
Mhm.
No, all right.
And they have no urgency. Like this,
No.
that's one of the biggest things that for Game 5, like Philly came in like they had taken the Miami's will away.
Yeah.
They expected Miami to be dead in the water,
Yeah.
and they had no
Yeah.
urgency.
Yeah.
Joel was the only one hustling for loose balls and shit, and he hurt himself doing it.
Right.
But
Even
right.
right there, Tobias doesn't move. If you look, so Jimmy and Bam get themselves kind of meshed up. They get themselves kind of caught, and
Mhm.
there's a little bit of a cutting lane, cutting
Right.
avenue for
Once
Tobias.
you make
and
the
they don't
pass,
do
right
anything.
there. Once
Keep
you make
going.
the pass, go somewhere.
It's right in here. Boom.
Move. Right there.
Tobias, flash to the right nail. Now
Yep.
Gabe probably has to check down on you. Now let's leave him Maxi a little bit. Like they don't move enough. They make themselves easily guardable.
yeah, you got Max has his
Look at
back
that.
turned to him.
Look at
Yeah.
that. Still nobody
Now
moving.
you flash to the high post, you get that pass,
Exactly.
and now Tobias at the free throw line is a bigger threat.
Right.
Your
'cause he can
defender
just
turn
back
his
up.
back, turn his neck, cut.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just
All right.
low IQ plays.
Yeah.
So we have one more clip we're gonna go to. So obviously James is, you know what he's trying to do.
I
Yeah.
love him.
PJ.
Calling for the clear.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yep.
can take that all day.
Yeah. You can live with that.
Yep.
All
PJ
day.
going under. We talked about that a bit on Hot too. Daring James to pull it behind the screen. I'm gonna go under on you so that I can get to the other side so that it's not this confusion in the switch and we're not leaving stuff open. Goes under and fights around.
Yeah, and
Well,
look at the clock too. Like this is why
Yeah.
the shot clock is getting lower. This was
Mhm.
earlier action. They might not switch that.
Yeah.
And Joel drives me nuts how often he catches at the high post and just tries to dance. There's nobody moving on offense. Like
No one's
defense
cutting.
gets to lock in on you.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing is this. He's not gonna bump PJ off the spot like he's gonna bump Max or Gabe off the spot.
Yeah. Right.
So like notice he thought about it. I'm thinking about it. Right here, I can't. Okay.
Mhm.
As
And
soon as I saw it,
whoever Jimmy's guarding over there, again, like Jimmy's able to dig. Just that you want to just show arms and limbs in the little pockets of space where
Right.
it looks like there's openings.
Right.
Yeah.
Max is paying attention down here.
I laugh so hard when Joel puts the ball behind his head in isolation. Look how and PJ just comes up, stands up to him. Go ahead, do
Yeah.
something with that.
Yeah, because
Like,
there's nowhere to go. There's nowhere to
yeah,
go, and if no one's active, who are you passing it to?
Right.
exactly. And I mean, Joel's not even a good passer, anyways. Where they're really concerned about the pass, they're just daring him. Go, go, beat us 1-on-1.
3 seconds left.
And that,
So it's 15 seconds at the start of this clip,
yeah,
and they had a bunch of nothingness for
look at
12.
that.
The whole 15.
Yeah,
But this used to be Miami's offense with Jimmy.
Absurd.
Like when they struggle, it's forcing the ball to a spot and nobody moving, and then all right, you got to take a step back jumper.
right. Well, I also think ideally, you know, you wanted more from James on that possession.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But when he gets the ball and he's at the top of the key, he wasn't whoever the defender is, he's not getting past them. So I
Yeah.
think that kind of that was probably the first action and it just didn't work.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's always interesting watching not bigs try to move without the ball and operate in like the
Mhm.
baseline short corner areas. Like Tobias and Danny Green were just kind of running back and forth and kind of like unsure of where they wanted to go.
Right.
And I remember that was a lot of Warrior. I follow a lot of like Warriors fans, and when the Warriors and Rockets used to face each other in the playoffs, the Warrior, Curry and Harden got a lot of comparisons and stuff, of course. And they would, I would see the Warriors fans really get on Harden because he's so lazy off the ball. He gives the ball up. He is not moving.
Yep.
He is not spotting up. He's not going to shoot off the catch. And it makes him so easy to
He's
defend.
not screening for anybody else.
He doesn't do anything. And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Curry's setting screens, running through 100 screens. Like it's
Incomparable.
the difference. It's
Right.
the biggest difference. And that's why Harden won't win a ring.
Well, that could be
Facts.
true too. Yeah. I think one of the things that like everybody talks about, but I feel like nobody puts any credence to what they're talking about. Role players at home versus role players on the road.
James Harden.
Right. But more importantly, our role players.
Yeah.
What did we see at home? And then, the first two games where it was kind of a little stagnant, but they kind of plowed through it and we won. We went on the road and things got a little topsy turvy. And then last night it was all cylinders go. So
Yeah.
what are we noticing with the role players?
I don't know that I contribute or that I would attribute it so much to it being home versus away. Because at least, my guy, my favorite role player, he's had, marquee nights against Philly at Philly throughout the whole season. I think I think a lot of it was just like just hitting shots, just making
Mhm.
shots. I'm not one to, I don't know, not necessarily oversimplify. Like I know like there is a lot that goes on and that contributes to an offense, to basketball and all that. But I think a lot of it was really kind of just making shots. I don't know that it felt like anything too drastic of a, I don't know, of a difference, or that there was such I don't know, like such a hurdle in 1 and 2 versus 3 and 4. I really, really do feel like it was just kind of making some shots, having some space. Guys like knowing that they're going to play, and
Mhm.
Kyle not playing, and so Gabe being up for it. Not that he wasn't up for it, but just like, all right, I know what's going to be asked of me tonight. And I don't know, they just felt like they just had a better feel for each other. And when I rewatched like the first half of the last game, and immediately, like out the block, the very first possession, it was crisp, it was motion, it was sharp, it was intentional, and I think those types of things, the others kind of
Right.
feed off of. patterns and motion and timely cuts and things like that.
Yeah, 100%. And I love Kyle. I think he deserves his flowers because they are not the one seed. They are not in this position without him and everything he's brought to the table. Unfortunately, he's hurt. He's not. I mean, I can't even say he's hurt. He's injured. Because
Yeah.
hurt, you can play through
You
hurt.
can play, right?
Everybody's banged up.
Everybody's hurting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Joel. You look at Joel.
Yeah.
But he is damn straight injured. He is not even the shell of himself.
Right.
He just can't contribute. All those layups he's passing out of, that's like it didn't really hurt them. Like you can look at his plus minus and stuff and say whatever you want to say. Didn't kill them, but when they went through those droughts and he's passing out of open layups and he can't hit threes to make up for it, like that does hurt.
Right.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like he and they were trying to do things with him. Like G mentioned, starting him on Tobias, and they did do that because Kyle's good against the post. But right now he's hurt.
Right.
He's injured. He's not gonna be as effective, and you can't use the same strategy. And they picked on him a little bit. They had to send the help. Max and PJ were helping on post ups and stuff. And unfortunately, that was a big decider in that. And they. Philly did get a moral boost just from having Embiid there.
Right.
But they also made things really easy by fronting him with small guys.
Right.
And giving him easy lanes,
Right. I think the thing is that, like, when it comes to, like, our others, as, Shaq likes to refer to them, our others have been playing all season.
Yes.
Yeah.
As the not others. Like,
Right.
our others have been filling in valiantly for our stars at this point.
Bitch, we about equal at this point.
Exactly. So
those guys, sorry, Tiff, but those guys all played more minutes or more games than everybody.
Yep.
But that's the thing, and that's the reason why I do look at it as players do struggle from time to time. That's just what it is. And I think that's the case with what our guys were doing the 2 games in Philly. They were struggling.
Yeah.
But that's common for athletes to go through a drought at some point. They've been playing all season. We've won huge games on the road, starting 4 bench guys and Kyle.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Kyle and G leaguers.
Exactly. So our others are a lot different than the other others.
Yeah.
If you said, all right, we're going to start 5 guys from your bench versus 5 guys from Philly's bench, what's the outcome?
I'm gonna take our 5 all day. And we talked about this a lot too, Tiff. Like that's been kind of my whole thing with the rotations and rotations shrink and they get shorter in the playoffs and this, that, and the third. Yeah, that's true for most other teams, right? Like you shrink your rotation so that you can keep your best, your most competent, your most confident in the people, that you as a coaching staff have the most confidence in on the floor. The others from Miami have carried them throughout this season. And so Spo has a level of confidence in his bench that maybe Golden State with regards to their bench, but I don't know who else still playing right now has that luxury to just feel safe and feel secure having to bring a Gabe Vincent into the starting lineup for a Kyle Lowry.
It might be Memphis. That's it. And Memphis also had to deal with a lot of games without Ja and such. But yeah, no, it's 100% what you said. They've been so battle tested, and a lot of times in the playoffs when they shorten rotations, it's because to get through the regular season, you often need to have play 10 guys a night, pretty much. And otherwise, you see like at the Nets and all the Thibs teams, you're gonna run out of gas. Like you just can't continue that heavy minute and workload. But another reason is because you're playing a lot of one-way guys, and you see guys like Duncan Robinson, who has improved defensively, but he hasn't been able to keep up, and his shot hasn't been as effective, and many other reasons. And he got a shot. We might talk about that later. But guys like Gabe, Max, Caleb, those guys can help you on both ends.
Yeah.
Like you're
Right.
not worried about that. Deadman can help you on both ends.
When
Like
healthy.
Right.
Yep.
those guys aren't getting schemed out of a series.
Right. Well, we can quickly pivot and talk about Duncan. Um, there's been a lot of nonsense on the timeline. Um, don't play Duncan. Play Duncan. We losing because we're not playing Duncan. Um, first of all, we ain't lose 2 games because Duncan didn't play. Like
Max.
we got to get that through our heads.
Yeah.
Spo knows more than we know. He ain't play. Like we at some point you can't always be right.
Yeah.
Like that is just what it is. Spo knows more. He didn't play. We didn't win. It had nothing to do with Duncan.
It didn't.
The idea that he's like the only guy that can do what he does. He's not the only guy that can do what he does.
No.
And we see that. The problem is we need the luxury of what he can do when
Yeah.
he's in the game.
Yeah.
That's the difference. When you're in the game, we need the luxury of what you can do.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, I'm wondering if he's being held out just because at this point they think he's that big of a defensive liability.
I think that has to be what it is because, Tyler hasn't been uber effective, right? But there is always still the looming threat that like Tyler can get going.
Right.
And so, cost benefit analysis, maybe I'll take and Tyler tries. And not that
Right.
Duncan doesn't try. Tyler's going to try. And so maybe I can take, a couple possessions of Tobias raising up over Tyler because I'm a bit more confident in his playmaking, his ball handling, his ability to get his own, his ability to, just kind of feed in and be a more lively part kind of, I guess, of the offense. And it's difficult with a Duncan because he's not going to put the ball on the floor in any threatening type of way. He's not going to pose a playmaking threat, and is also he's not going to play make for you. Teams, I think, figured out toward the end of the season how they wanted to scheme and cover for that, right? If you're still going to be dumb and play it in the drop coming off of some DHOs, then that's on you. But people started to switch or started to change it up. Like Big started to show and kind of recover, or people were just switching out immediately at the mesh point of the screen. And so you're not playmaking for me. You are easily defendable to an extent, and you are pick onable. I can't do much of anything with that, and I think that kind of just is what it is. Like I said, the luxury of what he gives you when it's there, absolutely, but I think it comes with like, damn, these other things too.
Right.
Yeah, and you already have like you mentioned Tyler. When Tyler's on the court and when Duncan's on the court, the rest of your 4 guys are protecting them. Basically, you have to adjust your defense in ways that leaves you susceptible to mistakes.
Right.
That you have to rotate so much, and work extra hard. Like you mentioned that play when we talked about that play where they were fronting Joel, and Max got the charge. All eyes were on him. If Duncan's in that play, they are forcing him in actions, and they're Harden's way too strong to get to let him just hedge and recover. He's going to go through him and probably get free throws and three shots at the 3-point line. Stuff like that. Like, and they've tried to work that the Herro Duncan lineups all season. It hasn't been effective enough. I like the idea of just throwing him in 5 minutes. They tried to get him in, see if he can get a shot going. He came in, granted, bunch of games not played in a row, and he was face guarded right away. So teams are still scheming for him.
Right.
But like it's one of those things like they have this luxury with Mike Miller and James Jones, and we talked about this. You throw him in for a few minutes, you see if he's got his shot going, and if not, you let it go.
Right.
You can still run 9-10 guys.
Right. And there's still basketball to be played, and there's still opportunities. especially because Kyle's not playing tomorrow. It
No,
ain't happening. He ain't playing. And
he's
if it
already
go
listed as out.
and if it goes 7, he shouldn't play
Correct.
because we already know what we could do at home. So let's leave it at that, and we know there's space for Duncan to get in and possibly kind of get his rhythm going, and we could see what happens. But I think we just sometimes have to just let it be what it is.
Yeah.
Um, and we also we have to allow the coach to coach the team.
Yeah,
Although we have our gripes and what we see and what we think should be happening, but at the end of the day, Spo's going to make the best decision of what he thinks is right for the team, not for the fans, not because you've been riding and posting Twitter pics of somebody all season and you want to be a part of it. No, that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. So just letting
Frankie,
people know.
it's so much of, I think, what you said about like having to help them. And
like
so
holding their
I
hands.
have to so like, all right, so on defense, I got to worry about how I want to guard James Harden on this screen over here. I got to worry about collectively as the defense. I got to
Right.
worry about what I want to do with Joel down here. And I
Mhm.
also have to be cognizant that I probably got to dig and help and show again or for Duncan. I personally I think one of the best ways that I've seen Miami try to hide Duncan and Tyler's kind of defensive deficiencies, they go like a little bit of a zone and they'll put the either of them in the middle in a
Mhm.
position of like funneling to someone else on the side who was a better defender. You
Right.
can't really do that in a man. And if you go zone at Philly, we're smart. Joel is huge, and so zones really shouldn't work against Philly.
Right.
So I just think it's a lot of the defensive liability stuff
Right.
because there's so many other dynamic pieces for Philly to worry about. I can't also have to worry about covering for one of my
Right.
guys
Well, and the idea is too, you
or two
don't
of
want
my
to
guys at the time.
you don't want a lot of porous defenders on the
Yeah.
floor. Like,
Yeah,
let's just keep it at that. Like, you're in the playoffs now, so you want as many good defenders on at one time as you can get. And if they can also shoot, hey, great.
Hey now.
Like
you
that's
put you put
that's what you
Max on
want.
Tobias, and Tobias can't post up anymore. He
No.
doesn't have a matchup advantage. Who's Duncan guarding in this series? Like you put him on Danny Green, and Danny Green's just setting a bunch of screens for James Harden, trying to
Right.
force the switch
Mm-hmm.
and force him into actions. Like there's no right answer for this. Like they just would have to work so hard, and like Siobhan said, like they already have to accommodate everything that they have to consider
Right.
at this point with Harden and Embiid, and Embiid inside. They also got to worry about Maxey getting to catch the ball and getting a full head of steam.
Yep.
And Tobias early
Tobias
on,
is a small ball forward for real, for real.
Yes.
yeah, like
is.
he can power it through the lane. He can
Yeah.
hit a jump shot. Like you have to worry for all these guys. Danny Green's been on fire. Like you've got to worry about everybody on the court for Philly. There's nobody you can hide him on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of hiding.
Well, before you get to that, Tiff, can I interrupt
Yes.
for a second?
Oh, go ahead.
So, do you guys remember this? You guys remember that block?
Oh yeah.
Oh, of course we do.
Yeah. So, man, I guess this just keeps happening to the Celtics because they lost tonight.
They did lose.
They
tonight.
had the
They
lead.
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
What? They were up 10.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
lost. I don't know what Bobby Portis did late, but he did something incredible. That
It was
happened.
tied 105. He hit a 3, and then apparently Marcus Smart got denied by Drew.
Wait. But why is Marcus Smart taking?
At
I
last
know,
second.
maybe he had a lane.
Because it's the playoffs. The defense forces the ball to who they want it. Oh my God, I'm looking at the pictures. Milwaukee,
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Drew Holiday, he's a problem.
Well, yeah,
Sounds
we
like-
already knew that.
Yeah. So Tiff, as you were saying,
As I was saying, whoa.
Look at the great white hope and Grayson Allen be so late to help there.
Oh, that's Pat Connaughton.
That's Pat Connaughton.
Wrong, great white hope. They all look alike.
That's Billy Holt. What was it? Billy Holt? Billy Hoyle?
Billy Hope. I thought you were gonna say Billy Crystal. I was like, yeah, sure.
Some
You
Billy.
white, you Ben Affleck.
um, speaking of hiding,
Mm.
we got to do this, y'all. Where's my guy? Where's Ty Ty? Where he at? Somebody
Where's
help me
Moose?
out.
Where's Moose? Moose been missing in
know.
action too.
Look at.
Let me look at these.
Yes, please.
They're showing and just
Yeah.
taking him
Well,
out of the
and here it is, picking up.
He's making
Yeah.
so he's either making bad decisions or he's making the correct decision
this.
way too late.
Picking up, and then forcing it across court.
Right
Yo,
here,
he
move
missed
it
the guy
down.
wide open. He missed the guy inside for a dunk.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Look
I
at
did
this.
a thread. I did a Twitter thread, and we're like in semi-fast break, and if he kicks it to the left wing to Jimmy, we can get in there and get something. Now we got to score on the other side, and we just dribble. Like Chuck said, dribble.
The idea to me, what worries me, it's the constant of picking up the dribble.
Mm-hmm.
Here.
Keep your head up, kid.
You're too far from the basket to be picking your dribble.
And then as we see here, he dribbles and he's coming around and right there.
And then there he probably took the I want that one to play again. He probably came off of the poor choice of the side on that horn set. Why come off? Like I guess you think you're trying to pick at Joel because he's slower of foot, but right here, like why not? That all of the help is that way. Like there's so many things happening that way. Why not? Just I don't know. It's been a lot of bad decision making for Tyler.
I've been worried about him since Atlanta because
Yeah.
he didn't really show enough Atlanta. Like they took him out of that series too frequently.
Mm-hmm.
And for Atlanta to be that bad of a defense and do that to him, and then it wasn't going to get easier from there. You don't go from playing the 9th seed to playing the 8th seed the next round.
Right. And
like you're going to get challenged.
How do you guys feel about this? I heard someone say that Philly is fine with letting Jimmy go off, but it's the combined effect of Jimmy and Tyler going off that bothers them. And so the Philadelphia game plan is to, I guess, let Jimmy get his, but this guy right here is who their concerted efforts are on.
Well, Brian, can you go to the next clip, please? So let's look at this, and we can also discuss. that.
Getting to the rim and finishing. The 2-minute mark.
So are they stopping him, or is he stopping him?
Obviously
well, from these clips, he's stopping himself.
Exactly, because look at this.
But so then
PJ's cutting. But PJ's already in motion. Why are you even making that pass?
Well, because there were three people. There were 3 defenders in that kind of space, and so PJ is that outlet, but he was cutting. So
don't throw it to behind him. Leave him. Hit him in the numbers so you can go. Or
right here, he's not making a pass to PJ in the numbers.
Back into the history. Obviously, catch and shoot early in his career has developed.
Right here,
right there.
He should have given it to him sooner. PJ probably would have had the shot. That's what I'm saying. Like making the right decision way too late, or making really, really bad decisions.
And then Devin takes the one-legged jumper.
That was still like 12 on the clock too.
Kick out jumper.
I think, I mean, honestly, that could be Doc's game plan. All right, we're going to let Jimmy get his. I mean, they're technically not letting Jimmy get his. Jimmy's just doing whatever he wants to do. But I'll play along for the game's sake. You're going to allow Jimmy to get his, but we're going to stop Tyler. So let's say that is the game plan. But what you're actually doing is you're allowing people like Max and Gabe and Vic to just suck up all those other shots that he's not getting. So you're allowing us to spread the ball around even more on offense if you feel like you're taking the ball out of his hands.
Tyler needs to have a chance to get off the
ball.
But this is also his first season. Like we saw glimpses of it last season early on with Tyler on the ball. This is the first season he had, like the whole season he was on the ball. And now he's facing a playoff defense on the ball for the first time, real time. When in the finals when Jimmy was the only healthy guy. It was Goran was done, and they had no other on-ball guy besides Jimmy and Tyler. Tyler struggled because they put the pressure on him. This is an adjustment. He's got to grow from this. These little things. He adjusted. And he started getting the handoffs and the pick and roll. He started going wider to create an angle to make up for his lack of foot speed.
Pass the ball.
And now they're taking that away.
But see, he gets a shot there, but you could have already moved the ball around and didn't have to force the three.
I've seen at least 6. Max is get it there. I understand dude showed, along the sideline, but I don't know. And even like that last bit we were talking about, PJ in the corner, PJ started to cut. There were 3 defenders kind of in the area. He had gotten so much better throughout the season of navigating those screens and that like the wraparound dribble, right? Like coming tight off the screen and kind of pushing it out into the space over here and elevating. And I haven't seen kind of any of that or like enough of that at all.
I would have liked him to take another dribble.
Another dribble.
Yeah,
I freaking
attack the gaps.
Well, even there,
some of this is but some of this is against the zone. So you're naturally not going to dribble as much as you do, but it's all about decision making here. Like you got to force 2 to the ball. Like here, boom. But he's also got to read that because if Maxey was smart, Maxey's taking that shit, jumping that pass.
Yep.
Well, the other thing is the one thing we do know, while he kind of sort of faked the pass to Max, you give that ball to Max because Max will shoot the contested shot.
Yes.
He did the same thing to Caleb in the Hawk series. I tweeted, it was like, man, the basketball guys don't like that. Tyler passed the ball. And then he got dribble to the middle and tried to kick it to the opposite, like right corner, and it got tipped out of bounds. We don't have to move the ball.
Right.
Yeah. No, and he's, the corner guy is also coming up to Tyler to stop Tyler from shooting. Even if Max doesn't shoot that, Max can attack the lane and create pressure towards the rim against the zone.
Max attacks baseline. That bottom defender over there has to step up. That's that baseline wrap around to the opposite corner.
Or Deadman coming in for a layup or a dunk.
I think we have one more. Brian, do we have one more? There we go.
Man.
Bring far out. That's fine. Keep your dribble. Why that much? You made it. Give me a left hand finish.
That's too much.
Well, this is one of the, these are the few times where he kind of like he shook himself free in Philly. Like he was not
guarding him.
Yeah.
They're not showing. He's facing a drop. He gets to play his game.
Spun Joel around. Yeah. Awkwardly. I think.
He gets to dictate the action.
Is this a good series for him?
No.
Why?
Not at all.
Why?
Wait. Do you mean like so? Has it been or like a good matchup?
A good matchup.
It's not a good matchup for him.
Why?
For me personally, because at least one person that shows on him, they're tall as hell.
Yeah, long.
So it's usually Harden or Maxey, and then it'll either be Tobias or Joel.
I was talking about this in Hoopstresses last night. This idea that him having
hey Siobhan, what's Hoopstresses?
Stop it. We're not doing that. This was a small plug. Stop it, Franky. This idea that like him having shorter arms doesn't matter.
No, it matters.
It matters an incredible ton. Like if all things even, right? We the same height, but you have 3 inches on me and in wingspan, that's 3 inches above me that I can't get to. There is clear space. So at eye level, it's all congested. When we get up here, that is space, that's opportunity. And he's been able to shift and create space throughout the season. But I don't know, like sometimes the intangible things like that, they do matter.
It's also that this is a veteran team. Like Maxey obviously is a young guy, but everyone else on this team has battle tested. And they
might have lost some battles, but they've been in some.
But they've been in battles. He's
has his drip dropped. That is hilarious.
Shout
he
out
also
Moose.
hasn't been sped up like this. Like he hasn't found his speed, his tempo. He
Right.
needs to work on that and find that. And with
Yeah.
the hedges, with the pressure, they're getting to him. They're speeding him up. He's making quicker decisions than he's used to, and they're taking him out of his rhythm. That's why he's making these bad decisions, bad passes, bad shot selection. Doesn't have his rhythm because he's not able to play his tempo. He's used to going one-on-one or getting a
Right.
defender on his back or his hip and getting to dictate everything. That's why when they're in a drop, he's killing them.
Yeah.
But
And
and
also,
getting to his spots.
it's the playoffs.
Yeah.
Every game
Flat
means
out.
something. This
Yeah.
is not a random February game
In
against,
Sacramento.
exactly. So every, I mean, yeah, Philly has a problem with intensity, obviously, maintaining it, but
Yeah.
every game here means something. So these players, they're defending him like they want to win. Like this is what's happening. And it's true. Maybe that was the plan all along. Doc thought, you know who we got to handle? We got to get rid of this guy.
That guy.
But then Doc didn't realize that Jimmy was that guy.
Yeah.
So, because that's what happens. Sometimes you can take a player out of the game, but then you have other people step up. And that's literally what we saw last night. We just saw other people say, all right, fuck it. You don't want to shoot it? I'll shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're looking at. With that being said, what do the Heat need to do to close this series out?
I think they have to continue with whatever the defensive plan was last game. No switching. We can't switch out top. I don't care how well we think it works or how cute it looks. A couple weeks ago, I don't know if it was John or Cooper Moorhead, someone the stat that like essentially Miami is one of the better teams at keeping people out of the paint.
Right.
But once they get into the paint,
Right.
We
small.
Because our big is what's been trying to keep people out, but he's out here, 27 feet away from the basket. And so I think they have to continue to not switch. It has to be like a little soft show on the side or kind of like the pre-switch, like the stepping into the space, giving it a soft cushion. And offensively, I think we just got to make shots. I like everything that we did, last game. Jimmy, give me one more. I don't know if I need it to be 35. Maybe I need you to just give me 23 or 20.
Right.
And shooters just make shots. Get the offense flowing and be confident and play like closeout game. No need to take it to a 7 if we don't have to.
Right.
Sell out. You got to sell out in game 6. You got to put it all on the table. There's no holding back. There's no pacing to, we got this other game. No, we don't need to have this last game.
Nope.
Sell out.
Nope. Yeah, 100%. They got to treat this game 6 like it's 7.
Yeah.
You need to win this game. Absolutely go balls to the wall for this game. Don't shoot historically bad from 3.
Right.
You don't need if
shoot
they
your
shot
averages.
Might be important, not historically.
They could shoot slightly below, and they would have won some of those games in Philly.
Right.
But they shot like 12% from 3 of those games. Like it was
absurd.
You can't overcome that unless you have like Shaq. But they don't have that. Like I expect Philly to switch their game plan up a little bit. Probably try to take Jimmy out of the scoring, make him more of a passer, send some doubles. Make him uncomfortable, which Jimmy's done a great job being comfortable all playoffs.
Yeah.
No teams really had that success with him. They don't really have that one defender that can give him the size, the strength, and the foot speed.
Yeah.
If you put Danny on him, he's going to overpower him. Tobias, he's faster than him.
He is faster, but Tobias has the length. He has the body.
Yeah. That's probably their best bet.
Yeah.
But they need to when they have 2 other defenders that can get bullied in the post by Jimmy, it's tough. So I expect them to throw some help, dare the role players to beat them that game, try to take Jimmy out of it, make him uncomfortable, and then try to take it to a game 7. Their role players are going to have some little more juice. It's hard to beat a team. It's hard to close them out at their place.
Yeah.
But I picked Heat in 6. I wanted Heat in 5. but Heat in 6 in Philadelphia, so those fans can boo them off the court.
That is
Sounded
why.
so sweet.
Yes, Franky.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
No, I
fucking
agree.
sweet.
I agree. But
What do
we
you think,
got,
Jeff?
well, honestly, they just got to make shots.
I think that's
That's
really
to me. That's just what it comes down to.
87% of it.
And honestly, Tyler's gonna have to make some shots.
Yes, he's gonna have to show up.
Even if he doesn't go for 20, you can
I
give a
need,
smooth
I
17
need
and keep the
14 at
defense
least.
honest.
And I need assists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tyler needs
Yeah.
to show up. Like I've talked about it, and to you, both of you guys, just when Tyler's shot isn't falling, what does he bring to the table? It can't, because it can't just be I'm having an off night.
Right.
I want it because Tyler wants to be an all-star. Tyler wants to be a max player. Tyler wants to be all this. He wants to be a franchise player. But when your jumper isn't falling,
right,
what are you doing?
Right.
Because you can't be a negative. You can't be a negative player. And secretly, Tyler has been a negative plus minus player every series since the Milwaukee bubble series. Even that Boston series, he where he went off for 37 against Marcus Smart, he was a negative in the plus minus department.
Right.
So Tyler, the next step for Tyler before he can get that max contract, before he can consider it in that conversation, is what does he do when his shot isn't falling? Because he doesn't get to the line a lot. He doesn't make a lot of plays on the ball. You saw them when they're hedging. They took him out of plays, and he's off the ball. What is he doing there? What is he doing now? And Tyler needs to show something.
Those are the questions that we were giving Duncan, right? When your shot's not falling, what are you giving me? And so, he was giving me that little pocket pass on the screen and the slip. Cool, that's fine, right? You're giving me a little bit more spatial, a bit better team defense. Cool, but almost negligible when you consider everything else that's happening. And so I absolutely agree. Your shot's not falling. I need you to process things quicker.
Yes.
So that you can get in the gut, you can make decisions. We make reads. We're moving the ball. Move it is going to come back to you. And by the time it comes back to you, it's probably a softer defense that you're looking at than, 11 seconds before than you had the ball. I love that, Franky. You're not shooting. You have to give me some playmaking or some better decision making.
Right. Yeah. Take a charge. God damn it.
Speaking of playmaking, I got one more player we kind of touched on a little bit, but what's next for Kyle? He's not playing this series. That it's not happening. So what's next? Is he healthy enough? If we're moving on, I'm not even doing the if. Is he healthy enough for the next series?
God, I wish they didn't bring him back.
Right. Because I think that's the hindrance. The fact that they brought him back, he tried to play through it and he re-aggravated it.
Yeah, I think he would have been back by next series if he wouldn't have tried to play, which compliments to him. Like as a former coach, as someone who's played sports before, and I'm sure you guys as well, like you respect that. You respect the hell out of that. You want your teammate to give it a go. You yourself would want to give it a go, but that's when you're hurt. When you're injured, man, you can't force yourself, man. You just got to accept it. Like, it sucks. The basketball gods sometimes can be cruel, but your purpose is bigger than this. The Heat have bigger aspirations in a second round series. They've seen all season long. They've had to play without one of these guys. And as we've all said, guys have stepped up. Gabe has been phenomenal this season, way bigger, than any of us could have thought of. And before the season, well, like but he put it all together, like right away, like this season. And he's been more than capable. They're undefeated without Kyle this postseason. And shout out to Gabe, shout out to Vic, shout out to Tyler, Max, all these guys stepping up, filling the gaps. And of course, Jamie, PJ, Bam as well. But he's got, at minimum, he's sitting out next series.
Whole series?
I think the whole series. I don't think he's.
I mean, it's an injury that's, what is it? 2 weeks, 3 weeks? It's like a 3 week injury.
Yeah.
But everybody has an injury right now. Milwaukee doesn't have Middleton. If they move on, and if Boston moves on, Williams is in and out of the lineup.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't have Marcus Smart either, apparently.
What do you mean?
Marcus is dumb.
Didn't he just
Stupid. I don't know. The what's next is an interesting, couple of words. Are we talking about what's next for this current playoffs, this next series, just in general? I don't know. It's tough. How old Kyle's 36? How old is Kyle? 33? What?
Too old.
No, he's older than 33.
So old enough, a small point guard who before the injury, didn't have the burst, wasn't really getting to the cup, and if he was, I don't know that he felt confident in himself, and there was a lot of kickouts. Was really reluctant to get to some of the mid-range stuff. Didn't start shooting well until dang, about time you started shooting well in the season. And so I don't know.
Shots.
Huh?
They didn't even start taking shots until the end of the season.
I'm like, thanks. Cool. All right. I don't know. It's an interesting position for Miami to be in coming, I'm not gonna look later. I'm not gonna look at we're here, we're right now. I don't think he should play
6 or 7
series. Definitely not 6 or 7.
Right.
And I honestly I'm not sure what's next for him because it's an interesting spot.
If he comes back in the next series, or at some point in the next series or in the finals, bring him off the bench.
Right. Because see, that's also right.
Is that you got? I don't know.
That's
you got
the
to
thing.
be susceptible. You got to accept that.
If you're if you're deep into a series, if you're already at game 2 or 3, you can't you can't be having sweeping lineup changes at that point.
Now you disrupt the flow, the momentum, the rhythm.
Right. All right. I'm gonna check. Let me check in with our producer and
can we
see.
Can we give Vic a little?
Oh, we could touch on it. Go ahead.
I'm happy with him. I'm happy that he's gotten his chances, which he was going to get his chances. Don't let anybody tell you he wasn't. Vic was going, G and a bunch of others. And he gives them. I think he gives them something that they don't have. Just the ability. And I don't know that I thought that last game was. I think he's had better games.
Yeah.
He's definitely had better games since he's been with Miami. But even in last game, and when he doesn't look all the way there, yet he still gives them. He gives them a vertical push. He gives them something. With regards to point of attack, he's smart. He's an intelligent basketball player. I don't know that he does too much that gets himself outside of himself. Maybe the first few games he may have been pressing a little bit, but I don't even know if I would say that.
Right.
I'm happy that he is on the team. Not even gonna say happy that he's gotten his chances, because I honestly believe the chances, had Kyle not been injured, I still believe that Vic would have gotten his chances this postseason. But I'm happy that he's on this team, which helps make the loss of a Kyle a bit less harsh. Right, Middleton is out. Who do they have that can come give them kind of what Chris does? And not that Vic is giving you what Kyle does, but Kyle also doesn't give you what Vic does. And so to be able to kind of have the two, I think is a huge advantage for Miami. And I almost think is like people have been calling like Vic the X factor. And I understand X factor meaning, I guess, the thing that you weren't accounting for that could make the difference. But again,
I counted for it the whole time.
Exactly. This is my point. I think it would have been dumb to have not been accounting for that, because why? I'm happy he's been productive and has shown up.
For me, the X factor on Vic was his health.
Yeah.
Just his health. Because I felt like the player, because even last season with 75% of Victor Oladipo health-wise, explosiveness-wise, he brought a spark to the team. He brought playmaking. He brought a whole bunch of things that the team didn't have, and he got that. He has a first step that nobody on this team has. He brings some a little bit of a dynamic playmaking where he can catch the ball, go, and attack a seam like that.
He don't have to give you 5 crossovers. It's maybe an in-out cross and I'm gone.
It's when he does the 5 crossovers that he makes bad decisions.
Exactly.
And turns it over, takes a bad shot. I don't want Vic doing the most. I want Vic doing the least and fitting it. Because when he does that, that's when the Heaters do it being real good.
For him, my X factor with Vic, that spot up, if he's gonna knock down catch and shoot opportunities at a steady clip like that, that is the thing that I think is X factor-ish with Vic. The defense, the kind of tenacity, the vertical threat. I think those are things that, we've all kind of known to be there. If he's knocking down catch and shoot opportunities at a respectable clip, now, people have to overhelp. You have to over-rotate, probably bad closeouts. And now that first step, I'm gone.
He's been like a 40% shooter from the corners for his career. So I never had a doubt with him. Like a lot of people look at his 3-point percentage at like 34%, 33%, 35%, whatever it was. But he was doing so much of that off the dribble because of his role. Like when you have a different role, your shot diet is completely different. Like the Tyler Herro's shot diet was not the same as it was his first year. This is an example. He's somehow maintained that efficiency, but that's a credit to his growth as a player. But you saw last season he didn't shoot as well as he did before, and that's the lump he took. Vic, I knew Vic how much he wanted to be here. Vic was saying it since he was in Indiana. He was saying it to close friends and family. He just loved living here, loved working out here, wanted to be here all the time, and loved the Heat. The Heat as an organization, respectable, hardworking. All the cliches, that Dwayne guy. Yeah, he's got Dwayne's definitely been in his ear and told him about it. But there's a thing where with happiness as a player, as a coach, as a person, just being grateful for where you're at and appreciated and feeling happy. Like you're not like we've all been at a job we don't like.
Right.
Do you work as hard as you would at a job that likes and respects you and cherishes you, appreciates you? It's a big difference. And this was that for Vic. Even though Vic's not making that contract he had before and his goals are different now than they were before, he's here to help. He stepped into this role and he's fitted graciously.
Right. We're gonna take one question from the shadow producer Brian, and then we have a little quick game that we're gonna play with the two of you.
Okay.
All right.
So the question
Brian, you ready?
Yep. Who is going to go off next game, and why is it Max? From Carlatiana.
Hey, Carla.
And why is it Max?
I'm saying it's Max because I'm going to say Max gets the first couple shots. They're going to try to get him going. And then once they start trying to take Jimmy away, Max is going to be the one who gets the looks and gets the shots, and he's just going to have it going.
Is it me? You going to go, Tiff?
Go ahead. You go.
White Wolf.
Yep.
So I think... Okay, first. So did Duncan play at all last game? How many minutes did Duncan play last game?
He played like 8 minutes of garbage time.
Yeah.
And then like 3 minutes before that probably.
So if it's not garbage time, if Duncan gets in before garbage time, Duncan's first stint of gameplay, if he gets one, I think would be a good one. And I think Duncan gives you something that, he hasn't given you this series because he hasn't been playing. I'm going to say, I don't know if he goes off. I think Duncan gives you 3 threes next game. I think Max gives you like 12 points. And I think Gabe gives you like 7 or 8 assists.
Okay.
And I think we're good. Shout out Namdi. I love him.
I think Gabe's gonna cook.
I love him. Frosted Gabes.
I think Gabe's gonna cook for real though. Like
I
I
think
thought it was gonna be last game, but I think it'll be this game.
Well,
oh,
excuse
killer.
me. I think it's going to be Gabe just because they're going to do their damnedest to try to keep Max from going off.
Right. So
That's
yeah, that's
that's
Good point.
opportunities.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I think it's just
Somebody's
going to
gonna be
be
open.
yeah, I think it's just going to be the opportunity because if you're going to concede whatever it is to Jimmy and you
Yeah.
already know Max can be a flamethrower,
Yeah.
you're going to try to squelch that out.
And baiting Jimmy, right, with the pass, like baiting Jimmy to pass out the double team, that's not a threat. Like that's
Right.
fine. That's
Like
cool.
Jimmy wants to do that.
Exactly. Jimmy wants to do that. It's either Jimmy gonna go by himself and damn the offense and get his, or Jimmy's going to like go the complete opposite and is trying to get everyone else,
Right.
going. And so you challenging Jimmy to pass out of this and get the other people going, that's cool too.
All right. We'll see what happens, but yeah, you're right, Tiana. It's gonna be Max. It's gonna be Max. It's gonna be Max. All right. So Brian sent me this game earlier, and we just kind of want to see what the two of you would do with it. Brian, you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Ooh, okay. How much money I have? What's my budget?
You two have $15.
Damn, I already answered this on my timeline.
Ooh.
Oh, you did? All right. Well,
yeah.
Answer it again.
Let's put it in here.
Whose face is this? The first one at number, is that Jordan Poole?
Yes,
yeah,
it
the
is.
bottom right left is Jordan Poole.
Okay. Go, Franky, since you already answered it.
All right. I said my two options. It was my backcourt is gonna stay the same. It's gonna be Steph for $5 and my boy Desmond Bane for $1. And I'm either, it depends on what I want. Do I want the first best player in the playoffs or the second? So I built a team for Giannis and I built a team for Jimmy. I like the Jimmy team a little bit better. So with the Jimmy team, I got Steph, Desmond Bane, Jimmy, Al Horford, and Draymond. That team is going to be able to cover Steph's weaknesses. They're going to be able to shoot the three with Steph, Bane, and Horford, and all the defense in the world with Jimmy, Horford, Bane, and Draymond. And then I also put this team, if for my non-Heat bias, Michael Bridges, Giannis, and Brook Lopez.
3, 4, 9. I have $6 left. Okay, so
get yourself a cup of coffee.
Right. Or a single gallon of gas. I'm taking my baby DeAndre Ayton for $3. I'm taking Jordan Poole for $1. That's 4. I'm taking Steph for $5. That's 9.
You got your backcourt and your center. Who are your forwards?
9. Who can I? Okay, all right. I'll take Jimmy for 4. That's 13. Oh yeah, and give me Jaren Jackson for 2.
Oh,
that's a nice team.
Jaren Jackson, DeAndre Ayton, Jimmy Butler, Jordan Poole, Steph Curry.
And neither one of those teams beating Heat in 5.
Well, I didn't know that was the question.
There was.
I saw somebody say, this guy, my buddy I follow, he's like, if you pick Jimmy, try to build the team around Jimmy, Bam, and Herro, and who's the best fit? Because it was kind of fun.
Jimmy, Bam, at these prices?
Right? At these prices, it's $9.
So that's $9.
$9. So you got 6 left. So you can do a lot with that. I said I'm picking Steph and Horford.
I'm taking Steph and Jordan Poole.
Yeah, and that's fine. And I said Horford just because I want the size, but I could also pick Brook and play Bam at the 4. Shout out to Siobhan.
Because he's not a 5.
Well, you get the spacing, and then Steph has so much gravity around him that like they're gonna worry about him anyways.
I like Horford for $1. I could go Poole for $1 or Horford.
I went Horford for $1 steady.
Desmond Bane for $1 is a steal.
It is
is.
an absolute steal.
It's a
Wiggins doing it too.
crime. It's a crime that he
It
didn't
is a
land in
crime.
Miami.
Tiff, don't get me started.
I know. I know. But with that being said, I wanna thank everybody for watching.
Tiff, what's your no? What's
Yeah.
your 15? Spin your 15.
I was gonna say
Oh,
I got
man.
my 15 as well ready.
Go ahead,
All right,
Brian.
go ahead, Brian. Go
All
ahead,
right.
Brian.
So I went with Maxey, Drew Holiday, Jaylen Brown, Jaren Jackson, and Bam.
You getting cooked.
Drew.
I'm just kidding, right?
I just wanted athleticism, surround Bam with some shooting, and just dynamic playmaking and just switching.
I'm not mad at that.
No.
Nah, it's not a bad team.
I was trying to find what I did earlier. I can't remember who I picked earlier.
I love.
Oh,
I
I
love
got you. I
Jaylen
got
Brown.
you, Tiff.
You got me? Okay,
Yeah.
who did I get?
So you got Poole, Steph, Brown, Jimmy, and Brooke Lopez.
We got 3 of the same 5.
Everybody wants Steph on their team, though.
Cause duh.
I was trying so hard to make a team that wasn't with Steph because everyone
I
wanted
also
Steph.
said I wouldn't mind switching Steph with Luka just because all that size.
Now Franky.
But Steph
Okay,
has
size,
that
fine.
Right, I
Yeah.
get it, but
I would rather take Steph. I'm saying it's not that far of a fall off,
I
because
like my group.
that team's
I like
still
my
fun.
team. I got Steph, Jimmy, Jaren, DeAndre, Jordan.
yeah.
Low key though, I really wanted to put JJ, Triple J, and Bam together. Just that would be such a fucking fun front court.
It
It would be a very
Oh,
fun
that would be nice.
It would be
And
fun.
and then you'd have and Triple J could go out and shoot the 3.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect backcourt partner next to Bam. Been saying it
With
for
that
years.
fucking kamikaze shot he has.
Oh my, it's so weird. It's
It's
the
very
weirdest shot.
I hate
It's
when
so
he's a
weird.
trailer because he shoots it off balance too.
Loads
Like he's
up.
going towards the shot. He's following his shot, but he goes.
Whatever works for you, sir.
Who's worse, JJJ or who is it out of Phoenix? Is it Payne?
John
Marion?
Marion.
No,
John
Payne.
Marion?
I think it's Campaign that completely shifts himself sideways.
Oh
I
yeah.
hate
Oh,
Cameron
yeah.
Payne's jump
He
shot.
shoots like he dances.
Whoa, buddy.
He's a lefty.
Come on, Southpaw.
All right, guys. We are going to get up out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching. I want to thank my special guests. Shy, tell the folks where they can find you.
I'm just here with Miami Heat Beat. I had a thing called New to the Groove. Hadn't gotten a second episode out yet. We're working on that. Everybody's doing a breakdown, so I'm trying to not look like everybody else doing a breakdown. But I'm here, Heat Beat. Check out Hoopstresses. That is a fun time. It's myself and 10 other Black women. It's a super safe female-led space. You just come and we just talk. We talk about the game. We have a group that covers the W. So yeah,
Go
Heat
Aces.
Beat. Huh?
Go Aces.
Go Aces. And we're gonna talk about Liz Cambage. But yeah, so I'm here with Heat Beat, Hoopstresses, and catch me on the timeline. Great matter with an 8.
Franky.
Catch me on Twitter, Franky with a YG _. To breaking stuff down. I'm on the Where's Out pregame show. Get you ready before every game, every Heat game, 30 minutes before on Twitch live. Catch me on Heat Beat, of course, and Stream Beat. We're gonna break it down. Doctor Strange, 2 Multiverse of Madness. Hoping Tiff can join us. If the Heat pull this off in 6, we can put up some Stream Beat episodes because goddamn this playoff schedule. I feel like I'm playing 40 minutes a night.
Listen,
speaking of if they win in 6, Carlatiana's banging on the table, reminiscent of G. Really, where are the predictions?
Oh, okay. All right. I do think it's over tomorrow.
I think so.
I do.
I think so too.
I think it's Heat in 6. I think Philly comes out. They give the Heat their best punch. And I don't think it's that much, but I think the Heat take the punch, and I got the Heat winning tomorrow by 6.
Go, Franky. I'm not saying mine first.
I'm gonna say, as all things end with Philly basketball, it's gonna end in heartbreak. They're gonna put off. I also think they're gonna put off a good strong fight. Heat are gonna respond, and I'm gonna say Joel misses a buzzer beater
Oh, God.
because I want that so bad. Oh,
That is drama, Frankie.
That
Oh my
is
gosh.
drama.
That is dramatic.
heartbreak,
as hell.
heartbreak. I want ultimate heartbreak for that city.
What's
Fuck
your
Philly.
number?
I'm gonna say Heat by 1.
I
Okay.
think I kind of go with Carla Tiana. I think Philly comes out and scores maybe the first 2 baskets. And I think Miami gives them like 7 minutes of hell, like they did last game. And I think it's a considerable margin.
Hmm.
I got Heat. I'm gonna take Heat by 14.
Oh, okay. All
Always
right.
gotta run that
I
back.
want Philly to be booed off of their own floor.
I do
Girl,
too.
if
but
they lose by 1, they're going to be booed off their own floor.
Very true.
I want them to blow a lead. Like I want them to blow a lead, like be
Right.
up 12. Heat go on like a 15-0 run.
In the
And
third quarter, right? They'll be up like
Yeah.
9
Right.
with like 4 minutes left in the third.
And they don't close the quarter well.
Yep.
And then the Heat go for the knockout in the fourth. And
Tyler
they miss a
throws
buzzer
up-
beater.
Tyler throws up some bullshit at the end of the third that get us
It goes in?
juice.
Oh,
Brian,
God.
what you got?
Yes.
Say 15.
Shut up, Frankie.
And I want them to like have a hard fight, like they're trying everything, and we just steal that fucking game from them. Like we just rip it from them. And then like as they're missing shots, the crowd starts booing them little by little, even though they're not even
It builds.
behind. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
crescendos.
Oh, and you know what happens at the end after they miss it at the buzzer? Jimmy yells to the crowd, "You should have kept me, mother."
Jimmy jumps on the
You can't do
table.
this without me.
can't
Can't
do
fucking
this
win
without
without me.
Exactly.
Jimmy jumps on and says, "This is my house."
He jumps on the
Or
table. Oh
or
my
he could just subtly give you a little air hump as he walks off the court.
Yes. On his way off, just
On his
one
way
time.
off. Just a little.
Ow.
You mean the
bow,
one that
bow.
Joel does every time he gets fouled and he's never been fined for?
Yeah, we know. Cause he big and goofy and it don't look right. That's why.
Does that shit to the ref in their face sometimes, and it's like, yeah, that's fine.
It's not, though.
Brian, tell the people where to find you.
Brian M1227 on Twitter. It's mostly just retweets and quote tweets, so I don't really have my own authentic thoughts on Twitter. But aside from that, Heatbeat, I'm normally just a shadow producer. I'm on Discord every day, talking to everybody there.
What's a Discord?
Talking during the games as well, during game chat and stuff. So you can find me there most of the time.
All right. All
Hit the
right.
great. Where you at?
Making dinner for my kid. That's where I'm at. Or you can find me sometimes on the pod fighting with G. You can find me on Hangover Time, fighting with everybody.
that me?
Laughing at Kenny's Wi-Fi. Tiffany Meeks 23. You know, that's where you can find me. Other than that, you guys be good, be safe. You are heard, you are seen, and you are loved. Good night.
I make beats in bed and I don't need nobody else. I make beats in bed and I don't need nobody's help. I don't need your fancy studio, I'll do this shit myself.